Hey everybody, this is Perch, and this is exactly the case of doing something and getting it wrong. In a somewhat comical way, but it indicates a little bit about how outrage is a funny thing because people get angry about various things. Some things are unintentional. This is definitely one of those should have thought it through more, but it's like the road to good intentions gone wrong. So I mentioned this on the live stream we did, but it bears talking about because there's one little nuance here that's really important for people to digest. So basically, what happened here? Well, there's a mobile game, Injustice 2. Injustice being the world where Superman goes crazy, becomes a fascist dictator after the Joker kills Lois and his unborn child, and then there's murder and all kinds of things. And then this was the Mortal Kombat Injustice world. And anyway, if you don't know what Injustice is, you can check that all out. It's not primary DC continuity. Not that that really matters to the story, but it is what it is. So there's a fighting game called Injustice 2, and it's a mobile game. And basically, like a lot of mobile games, the basic concept here is that you get into fights and then you collect characters. Okay, and it's a superhero fighting game, and that's kind of the premise to most fighting games. You get into fights and you do bouts, and then you win, and then if you beat the character, then you get to keep that character, and that's how it works. And they do special events where they introduce new characters into the mix, and then you fight them and you try and collect them, and then you can mod them out with different costumes and everything. So the basic pitch for the game goes, you can choose from the biggest selection of DC superheroes, supervillains ever offered in a combat game. Fine. Dynamic 3x3 battles, master new combos, upgrade your superheroes. That's basically the action-packed combat. Okay. They have they've typically done events, so the app updates, and then they'll do these special like sequences, and then they'll introduce new characters into the mix. And this has been going on for a while. The game was released, let's see, a while ago. I'll just go with that. It's the worst possible little bit of news here. I'm trying to quickly find out when it was released, and that is turning out to be more complicated than I thought. But there have been updates throughout the last 2 years. So it's been around for at least 2 years, much longer, I think, than that. But like, for example, they did this ninja mode activate. A new ninja has arrived from ancient Japan to join the Batman Ninja team. This is Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd, that is in the thing. You get Ninja Catwoman and Ninja Robin, and anyway, so that's what's going on. You either go for this or you don't. You have an event based on Apocalypse, an event based on the Martian Manhunter, on Wonder Woman, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So what could possibly be controversial about this game? Well, it is Pride Month. June is Pride Month, and the Injustice Mobile team basically did all the right things. They go to Twitter and they change the little avatar to a little the pride flag under the Injustice INJ2 logo. Now, I'll just say on the offset, I know people want to support Pride in a lot of these events, but whether it's Pride or it's the Black History Month, or whether you're into Black Lives Matter or any of these things, if your main product is a comic book fighting game, that may not be the best. Like I think showing your support in other ways, like it just it's like, hey, check out, we got the Pride flag, and then meanwhile you can play evil Superman murdering the Joker. I don't know. It seems kind of strange. So. But the little flag icon is not enough. So what the Injustice 2 team decides to do is they want to feature a popular LGBTQ icon during this month, this event. And who better to represent that than Poison Ivy, who's got a big group of fans who are liking Poison Ivy. So we're going to have Poison Ivy be the special character that is featured this month. And then if you can defeat poison ivy, you will unlock a reward tier and in theory get the character, and super, right? What could possibly go wrong with that? Well, go figure. When it was announced, not a lot of people really paid it much attention, but it was when the Injustice 2 Mobile, wanting to support Pride, decided to tweet out to encourage people to play the game and for all the good work it was doing. So they tweet out, Global Pride Challenge Daily Update. Together, you've taken down entangling poison ivy 175,000 times. Then there's a little smiling emoji with stars for eyes. It says, keep up the great work, heroes. Defeat poison ivy 225,000 more times to unlock the first reward tier. #Pride. And then there's a little picture of poison ivy is taken down. So the gamers didn't really think much of this because they're used to this is kind of the way the game works. So whether or not they were supporters of Pride or not supporters of Pride, most of the people who are actually playing the game just focused on unlocking poison ivy because they wanted that character and the costumes or whatever else. That's what they were after. People who weren't really playing the game couldn't help but notice that to celebrate Pride Month, the game company seemed to be encouraging people to defeat and beat down poison ivy. 200 over the whole course of the event, basically 400,000 times to unlock this first tier. And the art says poison ivy taken down 175,000 times. And so people got angry. Basically saying that the game developer was trying to encourage violence against members of the LGBTQIA plus community and women within the community, and that there is violence there, and they are, that there you have it. So there are some other events. There's a Pride celebration gift with new gifts launching every day this week. Again, they kind of do this all the time. It's kind of a bundle, and then there's a sale in the game store that allows you to get a Batman Ninja Team chest and a Poison Ivy hero chest. So cool. But nobody really cared about those two because they were fairly benign. But it turns out people got very angry about the concept of beating up Poison Ivy. Now, it's worth mentioning at this point, because the reason I gave you all that context at the beginning is this is how the game works. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm 99.999% sure that the game developers nobody was sitting there going, we're going to run an event where they beat up a lesbian woman. And this will get those lesbians. They weren't thinking that. They were thinking, hey, for Pride Month, let's feature a, iconic Pride character. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that in the drawing board for this game, they went through should we do Alan Scott? Should we do, who should we do here? Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's got lots of fans. Let's go with Poison Ivy. And they got very excited about this is going to be cool for Pride Month. We're going to have Poison Ivy there featured in the thing. And nobody stopped to go, hey, we're featuring her, but we're also encouraging the characters to beat the hell out of her. And that might come off weird, particularly for non-gamers. So like I said, the vast majority of the people who actually play the game had no issue with this and didn't necessarily make the connection. But the bad PR was terrible. So sure enough, relatively quickly after, they delete that tweet. And because I think it was tagging in Pride. There's a #Pride, and then you had the beat up Poison Ivy, and that just didn't play well. So it was not too long after, about 6 hours later, they of course taken the tweet down. It has been ratioed from angry people, and they issued their apology. We recognize associating our latest global challenge with Pride was insensitive and inappropriate. Real-life violence against the LGBTQIA plus community and women within that community in particular is all too common, and we should actively engage in efforts to end LGBTQIA plus violence and not normalize it. We apologize to the greater community, but especially LGBTQIA plus members. We are committed to listening and doing better. It's a somewhat sad apology because you still get the feeling like people are kind of unaware of where it went sideways. The game is about fighting and beating people up. And whether you put Poison Ivy in during Pride Month or any month, you're still beating the character up, like all the characters, whether they're Robin or Batman or Superman or Superboy or, I don't know, is Perry White in this thing? Maybe Perry White and his magic cigars are in this thing. You're saying you don't want to normalize violence, but the game is about defeating other characters and taking them down. That's the entire point of the game. You want to normalize it because that's what the game is. The problem here was the optics of doing this during Pride, and I think the lesson here is that if you're going to attach your brand to Pride or Black Lives Matter or any of these things, maybe don't if you're a fantasy fighting game. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe maybe there are some commercial brands and games where you don't need it. You're not helping anything by getting into there. You're not helping the cause. Your parent company, maybe, of course your parent company could do this, but when you try and kind of merge some of this stuff into games, it doesn't fit there. And then if you are determined to do this, you need some better people in marketing to go, let's look at this from every angle and see if we look like douchebags or this looks in a way we don't intend. Because sure enough, that's what happened here. But a strange little controversy, definitely like a case of like, this is the poster child for think before you jump into things. And and again, I'm still very puzzled. This Warner, media is attached as Warner Brothers was the game developer. So Warner Brothers could certainly put, Pride Month and go all in on that and say that, we as a company support this. But when you're doing a fighting game, like that just seems like a bad plan. But anyway, I'm curious in the comments below, does anybody think this was a good plan? Definitely the people who play the game are saying, I don't understand. They didn't need to apologize. They didn't do anything wrong. You're right in that they didn't do anything wrong and that they just put it's a fighting game like any other game. The thing they did wrong was trying to attach themselves into Pride and not think through how that was going to look, particularly from people who don't play the game, do not have the context. It's going to look terrible, and maybe that's stupid to do it that way. Regardless, their apology is, it's up there, and it's got the same. It's got a combo of people saying, "Screw you! You should have known better. No apology will work," and a combination of and the other half of the people saying, "Why are you apologizing? You don't need to," and so the wheel turns. Anyway. I like how the controversies are getting dumber. Thanks for listening.